Hi guys. Hi guys, it's Ray here from Man City Fan Chat. How you doing? Give me drinks. Ready? Here we go. Breathe in. Always breathe in before you start. Here we go. Hey, you got someone on already? Who have we got? Hey, 3 people. Hey, Mark. How you doing, Mark? How you doing? Mark Bo. Let's try and get a bit of me, more of me bonds. There you go. A bit more of me bonds. Hi, Robert. Hi, Robert. How you doing, mate? Hope you guys are well. It's Friday. It's 4 o'clock, hopefully, for most of you guys. It's the end of the working week. Hey, Mark, I'm all right. A bit tired today. Good job it's Friday. A bit of a headache, but it'll clear up. Week's gone pretty quick. Kids are home from school, already playing on the Wii. It's always the way, isn't it? Kids are playing. Got to do some shopping tonight. Got to do some grocery shopping. I've got an event tomorrow, middle of the day, so I'll keep me busy tomorrow. So I'm not a big fan of going shopping at weekends, especially late. My missus wants to go to Trafford Centre. For me, that's a no-no. Robert, I'm all right, mate. Yeah, going to Trafford Centre on a Saturday, unless it's Saturday morning, I'm not keen. But since I'm over that neck of the woods, I might drop the family off at the Trafford Centre, then scarper and come back 4 or 5 hours later to pick him up or watch a movie in the evening or something like that. That's kind of the way I do the Trafford Centre. Okay, it's about four or 5 people on. Matt, that's a good idea. You know, it's a good idea. I'm very keen on doing my shopping early in the morning. If I'm doing something at weekend, if I'm going a shopping village or grocery shopping or whatever, get it done early in the morning before it gets really busy. I can't understand why people want to go shopping at 3 o'clock on a Saturday afternoon at the Trafford Centre. It just doesn't work for me. Not arriving at that sort of time anyway, because I'm guessing parking's going to be horrendous, and no, it's not my cup of tea. I don't like queues of traffic. In out, Jack Jones. Hi, Mike. Mike Travels, how you doing, buddy? I hope you got your shout out yesterday, Mike. I did some shout outs. I remember Mike Travels. I think you were one of the first. You were Mike. You were up there. Mike Talks Football was first, but you were up there, Robert Lang. Okay, so Robert's in the MEN, the Manchester Evening News. That's a local rag in Manchester. Says the Cancelo deal is done. They have agreed it, and an announcement is next week. We'll see, mate. As we always say, until we see them in a City shirt signing and having a video done, nothing's ever done. Chris Baker. Hey, how you doing, mate? How you doing? You're looking good. Hey, the same. Hi, buddy. How you doing? Hopefully you're well. What I'll do, I'll start off because there's half a dozen of you on already. I'll at least go through the agenda, and it's all there in the title anyway. I'll briefly talk about the agenda. I think the idea is going to be we'll have a chat for about 5 minutes, just the guys on, without going into the actual details of the topics. And then the plan is to go through each topic. Have a chat about them, and at that point I might not pick up on all your comments, but I'll go through that and then I'll go back and look at your comments, then move on to the next topic and look at the comments then. So we'll try and keep it reasonably disciplined, so that we can keep on top, so we're not mixing shout outs with the actual topics under discussion. Robert Lang, Ray, are you going to company's testimonial? Yep, mate, I've got tickets. I've got tickets for that. Excuse me, I just need a drink. I've got tickets for company's testimonial. I'll wait to get tickets for the Community Shield. And fingers crossed, I'll get tickets for the West Ham game. Fingers crossed. So it'd be interesting to know you guys who are season ticket holders, who go home and away, who can only manage to go to the odd game, who doesn't live in Manchester. I always say it's interesting to see about people's backgrounds and where they're from and how they support Man City. Whether they, as I said, supported by going home and away, going to all the home games, having a season card, or just, if you're a student, going to whichever games you can afford. So, hey Ray, how you doing, buddy? How you doing, Ray? Now, Ray Barlow, he's I don't know if you caught what I just said, but Ray Barlow goes home and away. Blackpool Blue Ray on Twitter, he goes home and away. Great guy. And I tell you what, I'm still shocked. I'm still shocked, Ray. I'll mention this because Ray Barlow says he's 10 years older than me, and he's obviously been looking after himself. He's been keeping off the ale. He's been looking after his skin, probably with some moisturizers, because he looks 10 years younger than me. So next time I see him, I'll have to ask him what he's been doing. So Mark Bow, been a season ticket since 72. Wow, I would have been 4 years old then, and you converted your grandson as well. Excellent. Robert Lang, who's favourite City player of all time? David Silva. David Silva. The last 9 years have been utterly brilliant. The guy oozes quality, oozes class, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch as well. He's top bloke, top guy, top footballer. He's won World Cup. He's won European. How do you call it? The Euros. He's won Premier League, Community Shield, FA Cup, League Cup. He just wants that Champions League, and fingers crossed he'll get that next year. Yeah, Saints, Sheffield United fan. I'm the neutral here, but love watching City play. Fantastic to watch. Absolutely same. I'm glad, I said to you before, I'm glad that the Blades are back where they belong. I think the Blades should be, as well as Wednesday, they should be in the Premier League. Absolutely right, Brian. Nice to see you, Brian. Nice to see you today. Yeah, I hope Sani will stay. I did a video earlier on today, and I'll say, I'll repeat, he's the most exciting player at City for me. Whenever he gets the ball, I want to see what he's going to do. I'm excited. He, even though I know probably Raheem delivers more, Sani excites me more. Yep, saying, I appreciate both clubs in Sheffield. I mean, I did some work at Sheffield Wednesday last month for their charity. So I might go on about it, but that's the kind of stuff I do. I go and do some work at football clubs charities. I was at Barnsley on Wednesday. I was supposed to do something with Burnley, but the whole event got cancelled because of the Champions League. They weren't sure about if City had got through the Champions League. They were worried that they'd have to change the date of the league game, and all their events were based around their league game. So they cancelled it well in advance rather than having to cancel it at the last minute. Hi, Hassan Malik, 99. How are you doing, buddy? Ray Ball, 61. I can't believe it. Retired 4 years ago. Hope to see you at West Ham. Yeah, Ray, if I can get a ticket, I'm hoping that because it's during the summer holidays, school holidays, that there might be a few more tickets floating around. I think I said last year I'll join a supporters club and try and do it that way. And since I'll be in London that weekend anyway, because we're going to spend most of August in London with my kids, they're going to go on some courses and stuff. It just seems sensible just to be able to go out and watch the game at West Ham. Robert Lang, will Rodri come? I don't know. Obviously, there's a lot of rumours, a lot of strong rumours that he's going to come. Hi, English Mastiff, how you doing? So I hope he comes. We obviously need somebody, Rodri or Ndombele, and I'll be really happy. Yeah, English Mastiff's very quiet on transfers just because I don't know what it is. I mean, Real Madrid, they're not quiet. City are quiet. I'm surprised, actually. I thought we'd have got a couple, well, at least one or two in nice and early. That's what Khaldoun Al-Mubarak, our chairman, said. We'll wait and see. So Hassan Malik, are you a West Indies fan? My team is getting battered in the cricket, so I had to come on your live stream. Are you a West Indies fan? The West Indies are getting battered today. Yeah, I think for some teams, I've seen it with West Indies, seen it with Pakistan and others. They lose their heads, And that game Pakistan played against West Indies when they got absolutely embarrassed. when they had nearly 30 overs left, okay, there were 6 or 7 out, and people were still slogging, okay. And I said at the time, if you can last those last 30 overs, you might be able to score 80, 90, 100 runs. You never know, okay. 2 or 3 and over, and that gives your bowler something to bowl at. If you're bowling at 200, if you're trying to defend 200 runs, you've got a chance to win. If you're trying to defend 100 runs, you got no chance. Okay, so that's the way it is. Absolutely, Ray. Big chances from first. I'm hoping we get something early, Ray. You know, I noticed last season that the players have got to have that pre-season with the group. They've got to, you know, Maguire's coming in a bit later than I would have liked. And he didn't have that pre-season with the group because most of the group weren't there. They're on holiday or they were still at the World Cup. So it really, for me, it's crucial to get as much time with Pep and the coaches and the first team squad as possible to get the transfers done early, get people settled in Manchester, you know, get them living in the area a little bit, a week or two before they start pre-season. And every little thing makes a difference. Hey, KJ Anati, the LFC fan. Yeah, welcome everybody, mate. Absolutely everybody's welcome. As long as you give me a thumbs up, you're all welcome. English Mastiff, we just bought a young kid from Bolton, that's it. Am I going to go to Prison 2 in Asia, Robert? Actually, I was hoping to try and get out there. See, Mike, have a great weekend. I was hoping to get out to China at least. But I've got some work. I agreed to help somebody out one weekend, and that's actually when one of the games is. So there's no way I could get to 2 of the games, and it seems a long way to go and very expensive. I couldn't justify the expense to go to watch just one game, and it's a friendly. If you're going for the full tour, okay. If we're on a big family holiday, I mean, our family holiday this year is going to be in London, spending basically a lot of July and August in London. If it was over in, you know, as we've done before, spending 4 or 5 weeks in Malaysia, which we love going to, then I could have justified hopping across to China for a few days to see that. But hey, so it is. English Mastiff, yeah, okay. Well, what we're going to do, you're talking about Harry Maguire. Let's go through the agenda and let's go through some of the topics. And what I'm going to try and do is go through the topics, and then we'll have some more idle chit chat. So the topics today: Kyle Walker, his contract extension; Edison, can he play as a holding midfielder? We'll talk about that. Danilo to Inter, hopefully an update on that. Maguire to City or United, update there. And finally, Jack Harrison. So let's start with Maguire because English Mastiff has already mentioned it. So he says the rumours have it Harry Maguire bid from City and United, 70 million, turned down by Leicester. Well, obviously, it's a lot of rumour and conjecture when we talk about transfers. Now, Harry Maguire, we know, he's England international, slabhead, call him what you want. He's a very decent defender. Out of him and Mathis de Ligt, he's not my first choice. He's, I think, 26. Cheers, mate, Robert. So Harry Maguire's 26, if I remember correctly. Mathis de Ligt is 19. And I think Mathis de Ligt is a better defender already than Harry Maguire. But Harry Maguire's a decent player. And as I said before, if we got him, we've got Stones at centre-back. We've got Walker at right-back. We'd have 3 of the 4 potential England back 4. So you get that. It actually would help. It would help England as well, because playing together at City, playing together for England, you'll get that a better understanding. So Harry Maguire, decent player. The money that Leicester are asking for is way too much. The money that they're asking for at Leicester is way too much. 80 million quid. That's too much for me. You know, for that price, we could get Mathis de Ligt. I think the issue with de Ligt is going to be Mina Raiola, his agent, asking for a lot of money as well, and Mathis de Ligt's wages. It'll break our wage structure. So the rumour is, as I said, it depends where you look, different rumours, different made-up stories, but this is how I see it at the moment, that City looks like they want Maguire, very interested in him. United, very interested. United have got a much, much bigger project. Either move for Maguire is a step up in terms of obviously the size of the club, the history and all that, the money he's going to earn and the potential to win trophies. Because when all said and done, Leicester won the league 3 years back, whatever. They're not likely to do it again. They're not likely to do it again or win anything. In all honesty, even with the wonderful Brendan Rodgers at the helm, that was just being sarcastic, guys. So I don't think they're going to win anything. And so Harry Maguire going to United, he's got more chance of winning something at United, more chance of playing in the Champions League at United than at Leicester. And he's going to get a lot more money. United will quite happily pay him 200 grand a week, whereas Leicester, he might be on 80, 90, 100, 120 tops. Okay. So look, you can argue that's a lot of money, 5 or 6 million quid a year. Who needs 10 million quid a year? But people can be greedy. I hope he wouldn't make a decision just purely based on money. But if Leicester are going to push for, they know people want Harry Maguire, okay? They know they're going to make a humongous profit on him, and they know they can push people to pay more. So if they think City and United are both interested, let's say we've both made bids, Leicester know that his final price won't be 70 million. They know they can push, and United have form, yeah? United have form for paying for Lukaku. They paid for Lukaku, was it 75 million quid plus an agent fee? Let's call it 85, 90 million in total. For Pogba, they paid apparently 90 million plus 15 or 20 million agent fee. Okay, so they know United will pay. So I can see Leicester pushing United all the way to up to 90 million quid. And from United's point of view, they've got to look at Harry Maguire as making a big difference to their defence. They do need to sort their defence out. And I can see them paying the money. I can see City saying, no, there's a limit. We're not going to go past that limit. We're not going to be pushed around. We don't need to be pushed around. And I think that's the beauty at City at these days. We've turned down deals. We've turned down opportunities. We walked away from them. People like Fred, people like Alexis Sanchez, because apparently they were asking for too much money, or they'd made an agreement and then they wanted to change it, and we look back and we say, look, and we didn't get into that bidding war for Jorginho with Chelsea. We didn't keep pushing for Van Dijk. When you're not going to get the player, or their motivations are wrong, then it's better to walk out. So, we've saved ourselves 22 million quid a year on Alexis Sanchez. He's got, I think, 3 years left on his deal with United. And, they'd have to pay him to leave. He could just say, I'm just going to stay here and take my money. And if United want to get rid of him, they might have to pay him 30 or 40 million quid just to leave. It's absolutely ridiculous. So, yeah, Maguire is decent. He's not worth a sort of money, as Leicester quoting, but I feel City will pull out if it goes any higher. I feel United are the ones that will push for it. I feel Leicester will push United all the way to try and get 90 million quid. And that's going to make a big difference. So let's go through some of your comments. So we've done the Maguire bit. So Mukun says Maguire is good, but anyone else here thinks he can be better to what he is now? I don't think so. He's at 26, so how much better can he be? Hi, Football Fat Chat, how you doing? Streamlabs didn't work, mate. I tried it again today, same message as yesterday. It might be that I need to delete the app and reinstall it. Who knows? Paul Murray, hi Ray, De would be a great signing. Stones will get his mojo back. My choice is De Ligt. He's 19. He's got so much potential. For me, he's already up there at the level at least of Maguire, or if not ahead. Ajax captain at 19. He's a leader. We want a leader on the pitch, and I really think he can do that. So Chris Baker said Maguire is decent, not worth the kind of money. He's nowhere near as good as Laporte. Absolutely. English Master 65 is a decent price for Maguire. If you can get it for that, I don't think it will be for that English Master. I think it'll be at least 80 million. Let's go down your questions. Football Fan Chat, sorry I'm late. Don't worry, mate. Don't worry about it at all. All welcome. Not buffering so far, but it must be better. No, the Wi-Fi is not upgraded, Football Fan Chat. The thing is, my Wi-Fi is supposed to be on, a really, really fast Wi-Fi. This fiber broadband. So I might speak to BT. I might check how fast my speed is, just to see whether it's working at the level it should be. Because you never know, something could have gone wrong at the exchange or whatever. But we'll see how it goes. Brian, you agree with Chris Baker? Yep. Maguire is decent, but not worth that kind of money. Ian Wilkinson, De Ligt for me, generation talent. I absolutely agree, Ian. Absolutely agree. I said the same with Frankie de Jong. I say the same with Matthijs de Ligt. And I really don't want Matthijs de Ligt to go to Liverpool or to Barcelona. If he ends up at PSG, I don't mind so much because I don't think PSG have got the mentality. They just haven't got the mentality right there to challenge in Europe. English massive de Ligt, impossible dream for me. Yeah, I think it is at the moment. It's impossibility. If Matthijs de Ligt was to pick a team purely based upon footballing quality, what trophies you're likely to win, and who your manager is, and how you're likely to develop, then he'd only pick Manchester City, in my opinion, my humble opinion. If he doesn't come here, he's going for the money. Football fan chat channel is growing fast. I've been doing this for a year and 5 months, and we're already at 500. Any tips on growing? I'll chat to you, football fan chat. I'll chat to you about we'll have a chat about how you do how you grow your channel, because mate, on football you guys ask me questions that make me think. Okay, knowledge is good, technology is fantastic. We'll work something out in football fan chat. One of those ideas you had of doing a Google Hangout where maybe 2 people are contributing from different locations on a live stream. That's an exciting concept. So we'll have a chat. We'll work something out. 2 to 4. That's my aim, is 2 to 4. My kids, obviously, they generally finish school at 3:30. Like Monday, though, they finish at 4:30. So I'm trying to work out how to do that, because they both go. One of them's going. What's he doing on Monday? He's doing swimming. So he's got a swimming competition. The following Monday, both of them are playing rugby. So they're not finishing. I might be able to get it on at 4, but I'm going to try. As I said, you guys, it'd be useful if you would tell me what times are good for you streaming wise, and when I get a consensus, I'll try and see if I can work to that. Because it's going to be better to serve as many people as possible, and so the most popular times we'll go for that. And if I get a popularity and people say 9 o'clock's great, and 50% of people want 9 o'clock in the evening, 9 o'clock I'll do, apart from when matches are on, but weekday day matches. But so you guys are going to tell me what you want. Cheers, Brian. I'm glad you're enjoying it. Mukun says, pay the price for de Ligt, but he must want to come. Exactly. He has to come for the right reasons. You want him to believe in City, to believe in the future. So you want him to come and stay for a long time. There's no point coming for a short period of time and just for money. If he wants the money, he can go to PSG. Football fan chat, I'm starting a podcast tomorrow. Maybe you can come on episode 2. DM me. I'm out half of the day tomorrow, mate. I've got a gig I'm doing. I've got to do some boxing with my kids. They might be going to judo in the morning. So speak to me. Drop me an email. I'll put my email address up. Just give me a second. I'll put. Okay, there's my Gmail address. My address. Hi Gary, how you doing, buddy? So yeah, if you want to get in touch with me for anything, anything at all, just drop me a line. Cheers, Ray. Yeah, notice more and more joining the conversation, Ray. Looking good. Yeah, I mean, it's what I want. I just want a nice, friendly chat. We'll mix it up. When we talk football, we'll talk football, and then we'll talk about other things, because, hey, we're all hopefully trying to enjoy life. So we'll help each other to enjoy life together. So hopefully you're well, Gary. So English massive. Godfrey Norwich looks decent prospect. English as well. United's getting him. To be honest, his name hasn't really come across my radar. I watch a lot of City. Ian Wilkes, no trouble with signing this season is the amount of foreign players. We can only have 17. Absolutely right, Ian. Now that Vinny's gone, we're down to 16. If we got Matthijs de Ligt, though, he wouldn't count as our non-homegrown quarter, because he's only 19 years old. You have to be on the cut-off date. You have to be over 21. It'll be around 21 and a certain number of months. Okay. Hi, True City fan. Hope you're doing well. So Matthijs de Ligt wouldn't affect our a non-homegrown quarter. You relied a maximum of 17 non-homegrown. As many kids as you want, as many under 21s as you want. So Matthijs de Ligt would not count. Like Phil Foden does not count towards our quarter. If Aaron Muric leaves and we promote Danny Grimshaw, then that's another space in our non-homegrown quota. If Claudio Bravo leaves and we promote somebody else, that's another one that's not, we promote another kid, that's another one. So there are opportunities, if people leave. All right, football fan chat. Tomorrow is episode 2. I know I'm going to cricket next week. I've got tickets for cricket one day next weekend and one day the weekend after. But hey, just get in touch and we'll have a chat about it. Gary Deneen, with regards to the Dutch lad, he's after money. He's not sitting material yet. The problem with he's only 19 years old and he's listening to, in my opinion, probably one of the least respected agents going, or certainly from my point of view, Mina Raiola, who today had his ban lifted. Yeah, I think he's on a 3-month suspension or ban from being an agent. Now, apparently that's been lifted. And he's just after money, and he's going to direct his clients to go where the money is. And I think that's the problem. That's the problem as I see it. You've got to be able to step back. You've got to be able to step back and look at the bigger picture. If Mattis Lik came to City, he'd probably be on 160 to 200 grand a week, or at least 150, 160. If he went to PSG, he might be on 250 or 300. But you're going to make enough money at 150 a week, and then bonuses will take him up to 220, 230. The way City are winning trophies, so that's enough money. And then the rest of the time, you should be playing to win trophies. Going to PSG, getting 300 grand a week, not challenging for Europe, it's not worth it. Let's go through your questions, then I'll move on to some of the other topics. Statue of company. I don't know, Robert. I mean, they might do something around the testimonial, but Vinny does deserve something. Bravo has to go, honestly. Well, I thought Bravo would go because he's been injured, but Bravo is a very good backup keeper. And the one good thing about having a backup keeper like Bravo, it lets your kids go out on loan, because someone like Aaron Muric, when did he play in the league last season? I can't remember anything. He was playing in the League Cup. Okay, in the FA Cup, he can play cup games, but not league games. So where is his development? The most you're looking at is probably 7 or 8 games in a season. Whereas Bravo, it doesn't matter to him as much, obviously. He'll play the cup games. He doesn't need to keep developing, okay? Whereas the kids need to keep developing. So that's really, really, really important. Robert Langley's football fan chat. Chris Welch. No, it isn't. Chris Welch is Chris Welch. I'll tell you the story about. Finish the story with Chris Welch, because I don't think you guys know the full story with Chris Welch. Now, Chris Welch had a rant on Man City Fan TV. He had a big rant, exclusive rating rant, very, very poor form from Chris, and he was banned from the channel. Now, he did contact me. And he sent me a message. I think it was on Instagram, actually. He sent me a long message of apology. I think I did put it up on the channel. He sent me a long message of apology, which I didn't pick up for 2 weeks on Instagram. Not always all fair with technology. And, I think he wanted to come back and everything else. So I wanted that to go out there. And, you'll accept people's apologies for certain things. There's certain things you can accept an apology and forgive them, and there's other things that you can't accept apologies and forgive people as easily. And I was quite happy to and prepared to forgive Chris Welch, and for whatever reason that didn't happen. For whatever reason, Raiola is absolute poison for young players. Absolutely, Ian. Absolutely. I think, wasn't he Mario Balotelli's agent? He's got some top players under his wing, but he doesn't advise them the best. Obviously, if I was an agent and I had Balotelli on my books, I'd be doing more to look after the kid. Yeah, I think the agents leave them to their own devices far too often. And if you're, as an agent, if you're looked up to and respected by your clients, then you have a duty of care to them. Look at that Seluk, Yaya Touré agent. Now, he's advised him badly. If I was an agent, I'd say, Yaya, stop being an idiot, and do the right thing. If I was Raiola's agent for Pogba, I'd say to Pogba, calm yourself down, stick to playing football. See, that's where I'd be different. I'd be an agent that's, yes, I'm after the best for my client, but I'm also after, in terms of money, but I'm also after what's best for my client in terms of his professional development and where he's going to feel the happiest and safest and fulfill the most of his potential. Okay, and I'd be prepared to help them as much as I can to follow the right track. Joint statue of company Silva Aguero. It could be Ray Ballard. That sounds like a really good thing because, I mean, look, company's been here 11 years. Silva's been here 10 years after next season. Aguero will be here for 10 years by the time his contract finishes the year after. And that would be perfect. Company Silva Aguero, because they're the guys who have been here for 10 years. Douglas Luiz is looking sharp in 21 games. I don't know, truthfully, if I haven't been following him quite recently. Brian Gardner would like to keep Danilo. Okay, since Brian Gardner's mentioned Danilo, that's the next guy. I'm going to quickly go through this in 1 minute, and then we'll talk about Danilo. Yeah, I'll try and send me some information, football fan chat about your video. I'll do as much as I can. Gary Dumas-Man asking one question. You and Andy are no longer working together on the football side of things, but are you two going to be mates again, or it's dead in the water, Gary? Absolutely, I'll be honest, dead in the water. What's happened, I can't accept. It's been a long time. I don't want to say too much, but it's been a long time coming. But what happened with Rabin and subsequently, I haven't disclosed. I've tried not to disclose too much, and I'm still not going to disclose too much. I've asked Andy, just put out the WhatsApp messages from when after the point that you told me that you were going to have a Skype chat with Rabin, and that will clear a lot of stuff up. It will help show things in a different light. But Andy's absolutely not going to do that. I can guarantee you, Andy will not do that. If he's got nothing to hide, the same way he said to Rabin. This is the last thing I'm going to say on it. The same way he said to Rabin, if you've got nought to hide, give me permission to release him. So if Andy's got nought to hide, give me the permission, release. I'm happy to release this subject matter. I'm not going to bother about what we talked about a year ago, about anything else in WhatsApp. This particular issue, because this is what's come to a head. Now, I've no doubt in the last year, we've slagged people off, or slagged is probably the harsh word. We've made fun of other people or someone's content or whatever. Okay, in private messages, you do that. Okay, you can do that. I'm sure most people do. They have opinions and comments about other people. We had opinions about Rabin. We have opinions about contributors. I will not spill those beans about what people have said about other contributors, other YouTubers, other football fans, or whatever. On this point, Andy, if he's got guts, which he hasn't, he should release those WhatsApp messages from the moment he told me that he's going to speak to Rabin. That will clear up a lot of stuff, and it might mean that I get a lot less stick. Football fan chat, and I'm Chris Robert. My name is GM. You can watch our channel. Yeah, he's a GM. Yeah, I'm subscribed to his channel. Actually, it's the only one I'm subscribed to. So if you guys have got channels that you actually put content that you want me to subscribe to, drop us a line. Football fan chat is his own man. And to be honest, True City fan, he's a good bloke. He's helped me a lot with my IT and technology, a lot more than he needs to. And he's a signed bloke, simple as that. So I don't mind, I don't mind a little bit of self-promotion, True City fan. I don't mind that at all. And I will be looking at it at that channel. If a player does well, he gets an improved contract. Absolutely. So, guys, let's go through the agenda. Let's talk about Danilo first and then about improved contracts. Danilo, well, the story was that Danilo was going to go to Inter, that Inter were very interested, but apparently it seems that Inter have lost their interest. Now, why would they lose their interest? Maybe it's because City will not play ball and sell Danilo on the cheap. Now, Danilo, for me, he's a perfect utility, flexible squad player. Now, you might argue he can't get in at right back above Walker when Walker's playing the best. He can't get in at left back in front of Ben Mendy when Ben Mendy's playing the best. He can't get in at centre back above John Stones or Otamendi or Emerick Laporte. He can't get in at DM ahead of Fernandinho, which is all true. But he can play all those positions. Yeah, so someone gets injured, he can slip in. Walker suffering from bad form or gets injured, Danilo slips in and plays well. Okay, same on the left back. He can cover all over the pitch. And he'll give you a good, solid performance almost all the time. So, so Danilo. So my feeling is, if the interest has dropped from Inter, it's because Inter don't want, as I said, don't want to pay the money. I think City paid 26 million or 24, 26 million for Danilo. He's got to be worth that. He's got to be worth that. I mean, he came from as a squad player from Real Madrid, having won back-to-back Champions Leagues. So, now he's at City. He's got back-to-back league titles. So he's got a lot of trophies under his belt. And he's got 5 trophies at City in 2 years. And I remember those 2 Champions League at Real before he left. So at Real Madrid. So I don't want him to go. I want him to stay. He's a quality player in my book. And it just might be that Inter wants to pay about 10 or 12 million quid for him, which is laughable, and I want him to stay. The next one, someone mentioned about the extended contracts. Well, Kyle Walker has extended his contract by 2 years, so he's going to now stay until 2024. Obviously, I expect him to get a bit more money, and he's now contracted at City until he's 34 years old. How effective will he be at that age? I'm not sure, but it gives him the confidence that, to show that we've got the confidence in him. It gives him that support that City thinks so highly of him that they will give him that contract extension until the end of his career. At the top level, he'll be at City. Absolutely fantastic. Let's look through some more of your comments, and then I'll talk about Edison. Guys, keep it clean. Yeah, into skin, absolutely English Mastiff. They don't want to pay the money. Gary Dean, so what's happening with all our transfers? Because it's all pretty quiet still. Absolutely, Gary. It's all quiet. I was hoping from what Khaldoon Al Mubarak, our chairman, had said in his interview with Chris Bailey at the end of the season, that we were ready. We were ready to go and buy these players as soon as the transfer window opened, or as soon as we could. We had everything in place, and we'd act quite quickly. Now, I thought we wouldn't buy some players until the end of the Nations League. If we wanted English players or Portuguese players, or we wanted a player from Switzerland even, or Holland, someone like Matthijs de Ligt, for instance, we wouldn't do anything until after the Nations League was over, and all the other internationals, because there's been internationals this week as well. Also, until everything's out of the way, I didn't think we'd be doing any deals. So for me, next week probably is going to be the start. I'm hoping we get people in nice and early and get them embedded within the group, within the City way of life, within Manchester. What I don't want is someone just to turn up a few days before the start of pre-season. English might not be their first or second language. They're in a new country, new city, new weather, new squad, new players, new manager and coaching style and tactics. Everything's new. At least if you've been in Manchester for 2 or 3 weeks already, you're getting used to it. You're starting to learn English. You're starting to learn where everything is. You maybe sorted out a permanent place to live. I just think it makes the transition a lot easier. Yeah, Paul, don't ask. Yeah, Paul's right. Don't ask me to go through the reasons. Everybody can do their own thing, and whenever things will come out. English Massive, Danilo, keep. Yeah, I agree. Keep Danilo. Mukun, dare I say, apart from Walker's speed, I'm not sure what the other Walker's. But I've said this: if Walker didn't have his pace, then Walker wouldn't be playing for City, because he can't. He's not a good enough a defender. He doesn't focus and concentrate enough, and he's lucky. He's lucky that City have so much of the ball that he's not required to defend so much, and that's it. If he was under pressure a lot more of the time, then I think he'd struggle a lot more. Absolutely, Mukund. Too many clubs in crisis. Everyone's in for everybody. Exactly. If you're not top or challenging for top, then you're a club in crisis. Real Madrid, club in crisis. Man United, club in crisis. Arsenal, club in crisis. Even Chelsea, you can say a club in crisis or a club in transition. Everywhere you go, PSG, they didn't do anything in the Champions League. Club in crisis. Everybody's in crisis. True City fan, Rodri, Douglas Luiz, Fernandinho would be great. DM Stones, Gassi, Laporte, good to see. But yeah, I absolutely agree. I mean, hopefully Douglas Luiz will get his work permit, he'll come back, get Rodri. So my hope is for next season at DM, I'll tell you this, that we get Rodri. So Rodri and Fernandinho mix that role between them, and Douglas Luiz comes and plays the odd game, maybe in cup games. Get gets some game time. The season after, Rodri takes over as defensive midfielder. Fernandinho plays the odd game, and Douglas Luiz plays more. Okay, and then the season after that, Fernandinho's gone, and Rodri and Douglas Luiz are the R2 DMs going forward. That would be absolutely fantastic. Zinchenko, True City fan, Zinchenko at DM would be great. He's phenomenal. Yeah, I mean, I'd love to see us try him there just to see, for Ukraine, it's a different level of football, but he does look quite outstanding in midfield. English Mastiff crossing, not a problem at City. We have no one on the end of these crossing. Exactly. I mean, our corners are woeful. Crossing's not great. The best crosser for me is KDB because he does a different kind of cross. KDB puts a ball in for us to score from. Okay, most of the other people put hopeful balls in. KDB's pass is incredible, and you just need someone on the end to finish it. But we put crosses in when Aguero's in the box on his own. It's not going to do anything. Robert Lang, is the meetup? Andy might do a meetup. Obviously, I won't do a meetup with the old crew from the other channel. And I think it's too soon for this channel to do a meetup. But we'll see. I mean, I'm going to find out where people are from and whatever. And we might work something out. We might have a little party at some point, maybe at Christmas or whatever, and have a meetup then. That might be good. Mendy's a great crosser, as Chris Baker said. Mendy's a great crosser. 5 assists very early in the season last season. English Mastiff, we missed out on Kante. Leicester, he went for, yeah, he did. When you look back, you think, wow, Kante, I loved Kante. I think we should have put a bid in for him, when they were having problems at Chelsea. Even now, he's still a very good option, but Chelsea won't sell. They've just sold Hazard. They've just lost Hudson-Odoi and Ruben Loftus-Cheek to injury. They've got a transfer ban. There's no way they can sell Kante. Otherwise, they might even be getting top 6 next season. JG19 from Manchester. Football fan chat from London. Mendy don't look good. Injuries 50-50. I think recover. I think they give him time. That's why at the end of the season, you never saw him playing again. I think he just needs more time. Fingers crossed he'll get that. And hey, guys, I'm always down in London. Maybe there'll be a few people in London. We can have a meet, go out for a meal or something. But can you from Goa? Wow, in the Arabian Sea. Would that be halfway? I thought halfway might be in Egypt or somewhere. I'm not so sure. No, True City fan. I don't think Mendy's finished. I don't think it. Robert Lang, did you see Messi take a picture while Aguero was asleep? Yeah, naughty boy. I did that with someone once. We were on a football trip, and I took a picture of some guy while he was asleep on the coach, and he weren't happy. He absolutely weren't happy about that. Okay, last 2 topics, and then we can carry on chit-chatting. Edison. Now, Edison, 25-year-old Edison. He was after 1 season at City, we put him on a 6-year contract. Never heard that at City before, 6-year contract. And Bernardo Silva's come out and said that he believes Edison is good enough to play as a defensive midfielder or a holding midfielder. And we've seen, we saw, was it last season or season before? He did some passes around the middle of the pitch with Fernandinho and somebody else. I can't remember which game it was. And you look at the heat map, and his heat map is way higher than most of the goalkeepers' heat maps because he's happy to come out, and he has got great passing ability. We saw, especially the first season, where he'd float the balls over attackers and to our wide men, and he got an assist last season as well. He's so dangerous, and I have no doubt Edison could play as a midfielder. Absolutely no doubt. Yeah, football fan chat. You're too young. I don't actually know how old you are. So, but I think you're below age. Sergio Demo. Many fullbacks will struggle to play in a Pep team, so give Walker a break. We do not play with 3 defensive midfielders. No, I agree with that, Serge. I agree. Nice to have you on the channel. I agree with that. But I just think at time to time, Walker and Zinchenko and Delph, they switch off. But you can also say that for the system that Pep's playing, they're very good for the system. Just that they're not the best defensively, but they're very good for this in the attacking system that Pep plays. True City fan Reynolds, I'm Malawian, so that's a bit far. But as I'm in Ireland, East Meat, yeah, we could do all sorts, mate, all sorts. Asa Strumble, yes, I made him on my lunch break. Asa, where you living then, Asa? If you're on your lunch break, you must be somewhere. Could it be West Coast? Sorry, East Coast of America. That's what I'm guessing. Chris Baker, Edison is sensational. Love him absolutely. Serge Kante won't fit at City. I don't think he will now. You know, when I wanted him, I wanted him for that defensive, purely for the defensive role. I still think he would be. I still think Kante is a good enough footballer to fit in at City. Yeah, football fan chat 13. Yeah, a bit too young to go for a meetup. Robert Lang, well, when he used to be a midfielder, but yeah, that's it. I think he said, you know, going in goal, you don't have to run around as much. Ian Wilkinson, Edison as ice blood, coolest player I've seen for a long time. Connecticut. I'm trying to get out to America, do some gigging over in America. Really want to sort that out, but I need to find myself an agent who's going to book me some gigs. But I'd love to go back to America for a working holiday. I think I've been as a holiday in past to Los Angeles and Las Vegas, but it'd be cool to go to America and do some work and enjoy the American hospitality. My last topic is a minor one, and I'll say this to make sure I get it in, is Jack Harrison. Now, Jack Harrison is a young kid. He's 22 years old. He's a City player. He played at New York City FC, one of City's sister clubs, and he came back to City. We sent him on loan to Leeds last season. Now, Leeds are managed by Marco Bielsa, and he has a lot of respect for Pep. Pep has a lot of respect for him, and Pep said, we'll send him some of our best players. So we sent him young Jack Harrison. And Jack Harrison, he started all right. But his season, I think he played 42 games. He scored, I think, 4 goals and had 4 assists. For a winger, you'd want a little bit more. But there were strong rumours that Leeds wanted to keep him. They wanted to buy him on a permanent deal. But City turned around and said 15 million quid. Okay. And Leeds said, no chance. We can't do that. It's too expensive. And now the rumours are that Bielsa really likes him and they want to keep him on loan for another season. I think probably that's good for Harrison. He'll be 23 by the time he's finished. And at that stage, he should be looking at where he moves. He's not going to be a City player, okay? Jack Harrison is one of many young talents that City buy who are never going to play for City. They're going to come here, learn. City see value in buying them because they feel that they will progress and City can make some money out of them. I'll give you some examples. Enes Ünal, we bought him, I think, for 2.5 million quid. It's a young Turkish player. He never played for us. I think he played in Holland for a season, and then we sold him for 12 million quid. There was Angus Gunn, a goalkeeper, never played for City, went out on loan to Norwich for a season, and after that, he was sold to Southampton for between 12 and 50 million quid. That's a business model. It helps us to buy the better players that we're buying and helps us to comply with FFP. So Jack Harrison, yeah, as I said, it'll be good if rumours are true that Bielsa really is keen on him, wants him for another loan for another season. He has to step up. It's a shame that Leeds didn't make it to the Premier League because Jack, possibly, the Leeds would have got enough money to be able to buy Jack Harrison, or he could have carried on loan at Leeds in the Premier League. It's interesting to see where different players are going to go. There's talk of Aaron Muric being loaned out to Aston Villa, who've been promoted. There's talk of Aaron Muric being loaned out to Nottingham Forest. He needs to go out and play somewhere and develop a bit further. So that's an agenda covered. Let's see what you guys have got to say. We'll have another chat for a few minutes and we see. Mukun, yeah, Robert Lang wasn't talking about me. I've never been a good footballer. Yeah, Kante, I don't think would leak. I think Kante's got too much respect for the team he's with. Mukun, what do I think of Jack Clark of Leeds? Don't know anything about him, Mukun. I'm sorry about that. I don't follow the Championship anymore. There's too much going on in the Premier League. City played 61 games last season. There's a lot to follow. And I also went to other games, I went to academy games, women's game, the ladies team. I went to one. Didn't actually watch the game. That was an open day. The weather was so bad, I went home and after a few hours. Ian Wilkinson, Harrison always looked like a CFG center. I don't think he'll ever play for City either. Asa Stramler, we signed the wrong Mendy. Ferland Mendy went to Real Madrid for 47 million quid. In fact, one of my mates who's a scout over in France, a French guy, He told me that watch Ferland Mendy, because in a season's time, it's after we'd got Mendy, this guy is ready to move on. He's going to keep going. Ray Barlow, Daniel Arzani, if I remember, was another one. Absolutely, Ray. We got him dirt cheap and sent him up to Celtic on loan. Unfortunately, the kid got injured. He'll never play for City. Luke Bratton, another one. Guys, you know your stuff. Luke Bratton's another one. He's playing, was it Melbourne Raw? Ian Wilkinson. So, yeah, I mean, who's another one? Guy from Huddersfield, Aaron Moy. In fact, City bought Melbourne City, and we got Aaron Moy. And in fact, we sold Aaron Moy for about 10 million quid, which is more than we paid for his club, Melbourne City. So we sold Aaron Moy to Huddersfield for 10 million quid, which is more than we paid to buy the club in the first place. Mukund, yeah, if Muric goes to Villa, he stays in the Premier League as long as he's first choice. Thoughts on Longstaff to United football fan chat? To be honest, don't care about United. I'll be honest with you. Unless we're bidding for the same player, they can have whoever they want, because we've got a good team and that's all what I'm focused on. True City fan, John Stones must stay away from DM, though rumours are Pep wants to. Look, if Pep wants to try him there, try him again. I don't have a problem with that, because at the end of the day, you got to trust Pep. He's going to make some wrong decisions, because he's going to make some wrong calls. But overall, the last few seasons show us that he makes mostly right calls. 100 points, Centurions, 98 points, domestic treble winners. I'll trust whatever Pep does. If Pep wants to put whoever there, I don't mind. Football fan chat, Kante's father died when he was young and he's so humble and doesn't show his work. Absolutely, football fan chat. Kante is one of my favourite players off the pitch and favourite players on the pitch. He's a wonderful guy, and having lived in France, you hear, stuff about him. He's unbelievable, unbelievably humble. I think he's thankful for what he's got, and he doesn't like to upset the apple cart, which is why being played out of position, he's not said anything, he's not said anything at all. Serge Demio, any news on DM? Nothing. The rumours have quietened down, but they're still saying that Rodri's going to sign next week. We'll see. What does anybody know? I mean, any pundits, any journalist or whatever writing out there, they don't really know. Unless you're sat there with Cheeky, Begiristan, and Pep, what do you know, in all honesty? Do I like Garcia and Sandler? Robert Lang is asking. I love Eric Garcia. Absolutely adore Eric Garcia. 17 years old when he went on tour last summer. Pep said he was like a 23, 24, 25-year-old. The guy oozes class. I don't think he's as tall as other centre-backs, but he knows where to be. He's generally cool. And that tour, he looked very cool. He had excellent anticipation of what was going to happen. He could sniff out danger. Watching him play for the academy, he's not looked as good, but then he's not playing with as good players. And he's probably under more pressure. But he still looks quality, silky. He'll be playing with the first team next season. Sandler, I know I've seen less of Sandler. Okay, Philippe Sandler. Now, I do know a bit about him. I was surprised we got him. He was at PEC Zwolle in Holland, and he used to be with Ajax. But Ajax let him go on a free transfer to PEC Zwolle. So Ajax, who are very good grounding in players, a very good introduction to football if you've been in an academy there, they didn't see he had enough in him, and he went off to Zwolle. Now, I thought when we bought him for about 2 million euros, 2 million quid, that the purpose of buying him would be just get him, keep him for a year or two, send him out on loan and sell him and cash in, because we'd seen some potential. And we thought if you're linked with, training at Ajax and being at City, we might be able to sell him for 7 or 8 million quid. It'll be interesting to see what part he plays next season. Football fan chat, best memory of being a Man City fan? It's hard to say. There've been a lot of recent memories. There's been some great ones. Beating United 6-1, fantastic. Beating QPR to win the league, fantastic. Beat the last few months of last season, the game against Liverpool, unbelievable. 99 again when we got the championship playoff win. There's been so many. I really enjoy beating Liverpool and United. Those are some of the best memories that I can initially think of. And Mukun, we should not go for every player United are in, and that could buy some 100 million duds. Absolutely. Football fan chat, much better streaming. Yeah, it's just look at the draw, mate. Look at the draw. Garcia at defending midfielder would be great. True City fan, that's an option. Really good centre back could make an excellent defensive midfielder as well. So that'd be very interesting. Football fan chat, tomorrow's last stream. I have no idea, mate. I'm sorry, but it's going to depend on family. I've got to take my kids to the gym in the morning. That's at 10 o'clock. I've got an event in the afternoon over near Trafford. So I'll drop my family at Trafford Park. I'll speak to my wife and this evening to see what they're planning to do. Because if they're planning to go out for a meal afterwards, that could be my whole day gone. So I just need to figure it out. But I'll put a message out on Twitter. It might be I do something early. Let's have a look what else we got. What do you think of the new Manchester Hacienda away kit? I love it. Taking back Miss Betnuthy and Wilkinson. Yeah, Hacienda. I think it's an interesting kit. I want to see it in real life. I'm not sure I'm going to buy any kits this season, partly because in the mock-ups that we've seen, they're not look great. I mean, if you actually compare some of what people believe the actual kits to be with some of the mock-up kits that people put out there that off their own volition, some of those. If you see the black one with the St. Mark's cross, that's an awesome kit. If you see the ones with the stripe down here, awesome kits. I would love them. So yeah, we'll see what happens. Football fan chat, 4,000 views and 283 subscribers in 5 days. Yeah, it's not bad, mate. It's not bad. Look, I'll be honest and say I've got a following on Twitter and I've had a following on YouTube as well. So some of them have come across with me and other people are stumbling across the channel. So, it's going to be quiet over the summer because there's no football, but hopefully when the football starts and I do previews and stuff, that'll pick up as well. Robert, no, I don't play FIFA. I haven't played for a long time, to be honest. I haven't got time now. Even my kids are asking me to play and I don't want to because I don't want to get drawn in. When I was a bachelor, working 9 to 5, get home at 5, get on the PlayStation, play games for a few hours, no problem. Life's different with kids, wife, work commitments, voluntary work commitments, my family, and my mother and my brothers and sisters and everything else. There's a lot more. When I was living in London on my own, I had a lot more time to muck about playing FIFA and stuff like that and playing on the PlayStation. Loved some of those games. Yeah, we need a striker. I'd like another striker. I'd like a first. I'd like Felix. I don't know. Put him in the mix. Yeah, put him in the mix and say to Jesus, say to Aguero, you got to be on your game. You got to be top. You got to be performing at the top level. Otherwise, you're out. It's the way to do it. It's the way to. You got to keep players. You can't rely on just reputation. You got to keep producing. So to get somebody else, you put pressure on them. And I thought getting Mahrez put pressure on Raheem Sterling, and Raheem Sterling moved forward another level. Mukunda, I've been watching some older clips of City. One player I really like, Kinkladze. Yeah, Kinkladze's there, and Ali Benabia. I think we had him for one season, Ali Benabia. He was gorgeous. He was an Algerian guy. I think he came when he was 33, and by the time he was 36 or something, he'd retired. But he had a great control, great pass. He was another cool player, and it's a shame we didn't get him sooner. The St. Keep building your channel, Ray. We'll get soon. Yeah, it'll go up. Look, I know I got 130 subs in the first day. In the subsequent 5 days, I've got about another 130, which is all right. Which is all right for the off season. Ray Barlow, I would buy that black kit as well. I'd pay more than sit here asking for that black kit. It is that beautiful. I do like some of the St. Mark's merchandise, but they are pricey. They are very pricey, those St. Mark's merchandise, which is the only reason I've not been buying. I just can't justify spending some of the money on those St. Mark's kits, but they're fantastic. Cameron Dempsey, Claudio Gomez was supposed to be Fernandinho replacement. Cameron, I don't think he was in. I think with Claudio Gomez, we bought him when he was 18 years old on, I think it was the 17th of July last year or 23rd of July last year on his birthday. And Claudio Gomez, I felt, would be a backup, the same way Douglas Luiz would be. I felt that City wanted for this last season Fernandinho to be the main man, Douglas Luiz to be the backup, but Douglas Luiz didn't get his work permit. But Douglas Luiz would be the backup to Fernandinho. And then next season it'd be the same, and you get Claudio Gomez coming through as well. And then when Fernandinho went, if Douglas Luiz was good enough, he'd be the replacement, and he'd be the replacement at 23 years old or something. And then maybe if Claudio Gomez was good enough, he'd be the backup. Yeah, that's how I felt it going. But it's not. I don't think Claudio Gomez has developed the way he should. Douglas Luiz hasn't either. Been on loan at Girona. Fingers crossed it comes good for them, because I really like Claudio Gomez. I met him at an academy game at Shrewsbury last year in a Checkatrade Trophy with my son. And Claudio Gomez had only been at City a couple of months. He was a really, really nice guy. He stopped to chat with us, chat with my son, because Claudio Gomez is French and my son is French. And so he stopped to chat. Lovely, lovely guy. And, you know, it sounds odd, but he's one of my favourite players at City because of that moment. And my son, his away shirt last season had Claudio Gomez on the back. I'd be interested to see how many people got a Claudio Gomez print on their shirt last season. Mangalo's an amazing defender on FIFA. Yeah. Dennis Stewart, Colin Bell. Oh, guys, you're bringing back memories. Dennis Stewart, I remember the overhead kick in the 76 Cup final. Colin Bell was just before my time, really. Daniel Ogwuru. Rings a bell. I don't know much about him. I'll have a look. Yeah, saying I need that 1,000 and get walked. I mean, there are apps out there, they're saying, that I can do streams on my phone, but it's not worked. I tried it yesterday and today, it's not worked. You know, I just want to get that 1,000. It gives that momentum to the channel as well, so people can think, yeah, it's not just a little itty bitty. It will still be itty bitty at 1,000. I'll have a look. True City fan Daniel Ogwuru. I'm going to write his name down. So Daniel Ogwuru. It sounds Nigerian to me. I'm just going to guess. So I'll make a note of that. I'll have a look. Favorite night kit? Favorite night kit? I don't know. Last season's away kit. I quite like last season's away kit. That was nice. The season before, the blue kit, I like that as well. Nike, I've not liked their kits. You know, the black one. I remember getting a long. I don't get long sleeves, but I got a couple of long sleeves. But I got a long sleeve Nike one with a white one with the diagonal black and blue or whatever. But that's probably one of the worst quality kits ever, because the lettering comes off. It's a very poor quality kit. I love some of the Umbro ones. I love the black and red stripes. Love that one. What else? Blue's always a great colour. Blue's always a great colour to have in a shirt. Robert, you naughty boy, Robert. Has Andy subscribed to your channel? I really doubt it. I don't think he's going to subscribe to my channel, and I'm not going to subscribe to his channel. Let him carry on. Peace. Cameron, he's a nice guy. When we signed him, I sent him a message on Instagram, welcome him here, and he replied, and ever since we kind of had... Wow, Cameron. Now, I'm really jealous because I've tried to send him stuff and he's never responded. I've even sent him the picture I took of... My son didn't want to be in the picture. I got a picture of Claudio Gomez and me, and he's the one player at City that, I'd love to meet up with him, because he's French and my family is French. My wife's French. My kids are French. I just thought they could, And actually, Claudio Gomez, when he came, he was 18 years old. My son at the time was 11. There's not actually a big age difference between them. 7 years age difference. And, and when we met Claudio, it was like he was pleased to be able to speak French. He wanted someone to connect with, and my son could have been a good connection for him. But hey, there you go. Mukun Nakane. The white with the black and red sash is my favourite. True City fan, 14-year-old Daniel Ogwuru. Oh, only 14, mate. Only 14. It's 100 grand, it's cheap. But Robert, are you a good left back? Robert Lang asking me. That was my favourite position. I would play anywhere, but my favourite position was left back, because most people are not left-footed and people didn't want to play left back. So, if you had two people who wanted to play right back and nobody wanted to play left back, and I said I'll play left back, I got games. Just to make sure you get more games. But also, what I had, I didn't have a lot of pace. I didn't have a lot of height and strength when I'm only 5'7", which is 1.70 m. But I had enough about me to be able to make a tackle. So if you were too fast for me, yeah, there's nothing I can do. There's absolutely nothing I can do against. And I played. I remember playing one game I used to play a lot for the second team this team down in Guildford that I played for, and I played with their first team once, and the winger was so fast. I had no chance. And that wasn't anything to do with my football ability. It was the fact that he was just way, way too quick for me. But generally, my philosophy was simple. If you haven't got the ball, or the ball's not in my area, you ain't scoring. Okay? So basically, that's what I did. I was a hoofer. I was a stopper and a hoofer. So if someone's coming through, I'm there to stop them. Interceptions, good in the tackle. And then I was a hoofer of the ball. I never played the ball. I just got rid. I leathered it. I cleared it. That's all that mattered. I said, if the ball's in their half of the pitch, they ain't scoring. That's all I was focused on. It wouldn't work these days, but at the level I played, I was very comfortable and happy to do that. Yeah, well, Paul, yeah, I mean, it's a terrible story. And this is a sad thing about FFP. Now, Bolton's staff have not been paid wages for a few months. Bury are struggling as well. And FFP was not designed to stop this happening. FFP was designed to stop clubs competing against the top clubs. You know, the old guard, okay, the cartel clubs, the G14 or whatever. That's what it was there for. If you were bothered about these clubs, you'd be looking at debt. You'd be looking at owners lending clubs money. And that's one issue, where an owner gives a loan to the club and then he either runs out of money or has a problem, and then he wants to close the club down or will sell the club, but he wants the loan back. You had one owner who'd taken out a mortgage on the back of a club. He'd taken out a loan and used the club as security, and then his business went bottoms up or tits up. His business went tits up, and the creditors want to call in that loan. I think that's Bury. They want to call in the loan, and the loan is like 2 million or 4 million quid. That would wipe Bury out. So there's an issue about debt that has to be tackled, and FFP doesn't do it. Yes, we have bought him to help them with their issues, but they rejected our bid in January. Well, there you go, True City fan. Maybe we got him cheaper than we probably should have got him, because Bolton are in that sort of situation where they have to sell stuff, sell players and assets, and we can pick the best ones. But on the other hand, it'll help them out as well. So it's you can argue it's win-win. Now, I'm not a good left back, especially now, Robert. I'm 51 years old. I can't do it. J Fresh, you missed an hour, man. You missed an hour. I'm gonna call it a day in 3 minutes' time, because I've got to go do some shopping for the missus. It's grocery shopping day. I'll take my kids want to go to. They got Muay Thai tonight. So, J Fresh, I'll tell you what we missed. I will actually do a brief summary. Kyle Walker signed a contract extension till 2024, so he'll be here till he's 34 years old. Edison, Bernardo Silva said Edison can play holding midfielder or defensive midfielder. He's that good. Jack Harrison, kid we sent on loan to Leeds last season, might be going on loan to them again. They can't afford to buy him outright at 50 million quid. The Danilo deal to Inter looks like it's stalling. Inter don't want to pay more than 12 million quid. Danilo's worth double that. I hope City don't sell him on the cheap. And Maguire looks like he's going to Man United. And City won't pay more than 70 million quid. And I'm quite pleased that we're not going to do that as well. So hopefully that's got you back somewhere up to date, J Fresh Stunner. And we had a lot of good chat as well. Mukund, I ever played one game at a football. I ended up in the goal with a massive lick of water in front of me, which I was eventually obliged to have. On Mukund, look, when we used to play football in the 80s, university and stuff, we played on really mud bath pitches. We played on pitches that were played on 2 or 3 times a day, and in winter they were horrible. But some of the best games in those, sliding tackle. I always loved the sliding tackle. Loved getting dirty. Loved, leaving one in on somebody. In terms of, I wouldn't foul people, but I'll tackle them hard. I'd win the ball. I'd tackle them hard. But hey, people did that to me as well. So you if you're not prepared to take it, you shouldn't be prepared to give it, and you can't go into tackles half-hearted, because you're likely to get injured. Cheers, Jay Preston. Respect for the summary. Other channels would never do that. They say watch it. Look, if you want to watch an hour, you can watch the hour. But I've given you the summary of the 5 points that we talked about, because if you want, you can just blast them over. In the longer version, I talk about things like the ages of players, Danilo and and basically talk about a little bit of background about the player, what I feel my opinion is of the player of Kyle Walker or Jack Harrison or Danilo or Maguire, and then a lot more in depth. But for the summary, bang, you just get it out. And for the late joiners, if they haven't got time today to go and watch the full video, hey, you can go and listen to the summary. Robert Lang, Ray, have you seen Haaland since he left Man City Fan TV? Robert, Haaland hardly did anything for us. You know, I think he was involved with 2 matches. There was one match, and then we did at the end of the last season, and then we did the City Legends versus Wigan Legends, and Haaland went. I think I must have took him. I took him to that game. I picked him up and took him to that game, and yeah, he walked off with a sweat. We give him a sweatshirt. And he never gave it back. I've seen him a couple of times at games, and he's pretty much got his head down. He's got his head down. It is a bit embarrassing because he left us in the lurch. I'm not saying this to make fun of him or have a go at him, but I remember the last game of last season. Now, when we started Man City Fan TV, I was not going to be in front of the camera. I was going to be behind the camera, and I was supposed to go to the Southampton game with Haaland. We were both going to go. And then a few days before the game, he said he's got a christening to go to, and he couldn't go. And I thought it's a bit odd because you got a christening to go to, but surely you'd have known about the christening for a nephew or whatever well in advance. And you're telling me at the last minute. So whether it's true or not, I have no reason to doubt him, but he left us in the lurch. So I ended up going to Southampton on my own, and I wasn't that keen, and I was basically had to do it. So, you know, I've been in front of the camera ever since. I've turned stuff down. I'll say this: I've turned stuff down on TV because either I don't want to do it for certain media organisations, or I just didn't want to do it, or I didn't have the time. And you know, sometimes you don't want to do stuff. You don't feel comfortable. Don't do it. But I'm a lot more comfortable now in front of camera than I was a year ago. Mukund, when I returned home, my soggy boots in my hand, my mother was not. Mukund, look, I always come back mucky. England just won. Hey, Ray Barlow, that was always going to happen. You know, I mean, when the West Indies were out for what 213 and England was 69 or 70 for no wickets, they were always going to win that. Always going to win that. Cheers, Paul. I hope you have a good evening, buddy. I hope you have a good weekend. Mukund, is Haaland the same guy who appears on? Yeah, he's the same guy who appears on Cheesy's vids. Now, I have no idea whether Haaland let us down because Cheesy had spoken to him, even though Haaland had done a bit of work for us. Everybody's free to come and go and do whatever they like, but I think he should have spoken to us. I think we had a problem trying to get in touch with him after that. I think that was the disappointing thing. Just be honest and be open, and you know, if you're honest and open in life, things can be a lot easier. You know, if Haaland had said, "Look, Cheesy's asked me to go and do some stuff for him. I want to do that," would have said, "Hey, mate, great, no problem, go and do it. Not a problem whatsoever." A bit more honesty in life, you know, it makes a difference. Ray Ballo, yeah, Mukunda were poor. Yeah, Windies looks like their challenge is going. Look, it looks like the top four are going to be Australia, India, England, and New Zealand. They're going to be the top four, I think, in the semi-finals. Guys, time is up. Time is up. It's been great having you on board today. Another really good chat. We've gone through our business in a more structured way. We've had a lot of fun, a lot of chat. I think it's worked well. But you got to let me know as well, guys, what time you'd like these live streams, and then I'll go with the consensus. You know, you too, Ray. Have a great weekend. Hopefully, the weather's picking up a little bit this weekend, and we'll get a bit of sunshine because I've had to put the heating on. It's that cold now. I've had to put the heating on. It's that bad. See you, Robert. Take it easy, mate. Have a good weekend. See you, Mukund. You have a good weekend as well. In Goa, it's dinner time over there. So you guys have a good one and stay safe, and we'll speak to you soon. See you around Blues.